guys, thanks for checking out my podcast. Please click to subscribe. I'm here in Minneapolis, outside the church still, where just the awful shooting happened. I'm learning more about the journals, the shooter's journals. I've had someone helping me translate them because a lot of them are in the Russian alphabet. So I'm going to tell you what new I've learned about the journals. Also, possible warning flags that we're learning about. And there usually are. They always come out. Possible warning flags about the shooter. I'm getting into all of it on this edition of Brian Entin Investigates. Hey guys, thanks so much again for checking out my podcast. I'm still here in Minneapolis. That's the Catholic Church behind me. It's crazy. I mean, there's been people pretty much nonstop who have been just showing up here, even all night long. We were here late into the night, leaving flowers. I don't think I've ever seen so many flowers at one of these sort of tragedies, and sadly I've covered a lot of them. I mean, too many of them. But people have just, I mean, the whole church is surrounded in flowers right now. It's really a beautiful sight. Even people in Uvalde, obviously we know what happened in Uvalde with the school there that was shot up a few years ago. They sent flowers here from Uvalde, which was really, really nice. So just a lot of support for people in this community, but still just terribly, terribly sad. I want to get to some new information, though, that I've learned today and I've been putting together when it comes to the shooter. Again, I'm not going to use the name. I just don't see why it's necessary at this point, especially since the police chief has asked people not to use the name, and especially since this shooter in particular worshipped other mass shooters. It just seems inappropriate and irresponsible to use the name. So I'm not going to use the name. I'm just going to refer to him as the shooter. But I've been going through his journal, and I know there's like a ton of chat GPT. People have been tweeting like all sorts of chat GPT translations because some of it is in the Russian alphabet. I didn't really want to go with the chat GPT translations just because, I don't know, I just wasn't sure that they were accurate. So I have actually a friend whose friend is Russian who has been slowly going through and translating things for me. And I'm going to read you through some of it. And again, just kind of a warning, it is like disturbing, but I think it gives us some insight into his mental state and sort of what was going on here. And so let me just start. This is one of the pages. F it. I'm not going to use the curse words. F it. F it all over. LOL. F. I effing hate bugs. I effing hate bugs. I hate them. I'm sitting here at a park to journal and waste time, and I'm getting pestered. I can't live in this world. F. F. Hate this world. I made a mistake of asking Teresa if she wanted to hang out and instantly regretted it. I am just doing my civic duty to talk to all of my friends and family before I die. I don't want to hang out with that adult baby and her dogs. I just can't being outside in these bugs anymore. I can't effing, I want to die. I can't effing wait to die. One more week. I will. F, F, F. So he said one more week there. So apparently this is when he was already planning, it seems like, what was going to happen. Words can't describe my pain. Capital letters are not loud enough to capture the screams I want to cry out. I am in so much pain. I can't live. F, F, F. Major depression, self-loathing, self-hatred, suicidal. God, Teresa is such a cringe baby. I hated being at her house. I am surprised she hasn't killed herself already. I am a sick freak. And then he says, kill yourself about someone. I am the killer. I am a sick F. It's all my fault. No one is to blame but me. Stupid me. I hate myself. I can't live as myself. Robin Westman was, well, I accidentally said his name there, but blank was a shooter. Shame. 6 more days. Forget me. You won't forget me. F it all. I will not leave until I am satisfied. I have some concerns about my new sling. I am unable to bring the muzzle up to my head. I would need to take the gun off or unclip. That concerns me, as I would need to shoot myself at any given time. I will do some more testing and see if it is worth it to keep it in the new position. I am pissed. I can't find my monocular for seeing the target. I can't aim the rifle. I might just go buy some cheap one from REI or something. I don't want to ask to borrow anyone's. F, everyone and everything. My God, oh my God, the day draws ever closer. I will die soon. My life is over. Freedom, peace, agony and torment, pain, peace, love, kids, immorality. F, 5 days left. Nothing I want to do in these days except prep for the mission. The range will only take a few hours, then it's back home to rot. All I do is fall apart and then I break and then I die. All I do is fall apart, then break and then die. I fall, I break, and I die. That is all I do. Well, I am less than dirt, less than sperm. I am kids. I am kids. Kids are us. I will meet myself in kids. Then it says, kill yourself, kill kids. I mean, it's like really, really disturbing. I have a deep fascination with one man in particular. And so this is where there are many pages where he talks about his obsession with other mass shooters, which is something the police alluded to yesterday in their press conference. And I am going to choose not to read these parts, and this is a big chunk of it, because I don't know, I think it just plays into his fascination with other mass shooters, and I don't want to glorify that at all. But you can imagine what it says, and honestly, it's just sort of pathetic anyway. I mean, this really sick fascination and just obsession with other school shooters and other shooters and one shooter in particular. So I'm going to leave that stuff out. There are parts where he talks about being trans. There's one part where he says, I am sick of my hair. I want to chop it off. I only keep it because it is pretty much my last shred of being trans. I am tired of being trans. I wish I never brainwashed myself. I can't cut my hair off now as it would be an embarrassing defeat and it might be a concerning change of character that could get me reported. It just always gets in my way. I will probably chop it off the day of the attack. So again, there he is talking about this attack, which is presumably the awful rampage that happened in the church behind me. Then this is another part that I'm still waiting to translate myself. It's a little confusing getting these pages to the woman who I have helping me translate, but this part has already been translated by the New York Post. It says, when I was first out to my mother, she was very antagonistic. She really made me hate myself and think I will never be good enough. I remember one day she said something like, in the future, you will look back and feel ridiculous about who you feel like you are inside. You will regret this. Well, guess what, Mom? I regret being born. Those words you said to me make me feel like I can never take back my choice to live like this. It's not my choice to feel like a girl. It is mine to dress like one. Your words, Mother, made me stay in my discomfort, unable to ask for help, to avoid admitting defeat. You were right, Mama. But the way you handled it led me to wanting to kill so many people. So this is interesting. There's some new reporting coming out about his mental health. And remember, police made clear that there has been no criminal history besides a traffic ticket. And there was nothing that they say put him on their radar and nothing on the FBI watch list. But this new reporting is from Fox 9, which is a local affiliate here in Minneapolis, that says the gunman who slaughtered the 2 children and injured 18 other people at the Minneapolis Catholic Church had recently broken up with his romantic partner and previously had a medical mental health call. This is important. Previously had a medical mental health call made to his home when he was a teen, according to police reports. The father of the shooter told investigators that the shooter had broke up with a significant and/or romantic partner and had been staying with a friend in St. Louis Park. Police were also made aware of a 2018 welfare check at the home of the shooter's mother. Again, I'm going to tell you why this is important. I'm going to repeat it. Police were also made aware of a 2018 welfare check at the home of the shooter's mother, with the incident involving a juvenile, according to police records. So the interesting context to this is the mom. Yesterday, the police chief said that the mom they were not able at that point to have a conversation with the mom. which made a lot of headlines because why would the mom not be talking to police right now? There have also been reports that the mom has obtained a lawyer, a criminal defense lawyer. Today there was a press conference. The police chief wasn't there, but the assistant chief was there. And the assistant chief was asked, actually by one of my producers, about, have you been able to talk to the mom yet? And he said that they have now, let me get it for you exactly the way that he said it, because I want to say it the right way because it was very specific. They said that there has now been a conversation with the shooter's mother. So there has now been a conversation with the shooter's mother. Why this is all interesting to me is we've seen parents charged recently in relation to their kids being mass shooters. Granted, in some of those instances, they were minors, the kids, and the parents helped obtain the guns, which doesn't appear to be the case here. First of all, he's not a minor, he's 23, and it doesn't appear that anyone helped him get the guns that we know of. But what's interesting is in Minnesota, there is something called a red flag law, what they call an extreme risk protection order law. Okay, it's been on the books since last year. These laws exist in 21 states. I know about these because there's actually one in Florida. And they're relatively a new kind of law, but essentially, family members can go to law enforcement or people or doctors, and they can report, hey, I've got a family member who I know is having a mental health crisis and could be dangerous, and I know is buying guns, and I want them to be on this list so that they are not able to obtain firearms. And that law exists in Minnesota. Granted, it was just put on the books last year. So this report about 2018, a welfare check, I don't think this red flag law would have applied then, but it is interesting to think about if the mom knew something about what her son was going through and at the same time knew that he was buying firearms. And not to say that she has done anything wrong, I don't know. She may have done absolutely nothing wrong. But I think in this environment where other parents have been charged, I can understand why she got a lawyer. I mean, that's not really, a lot of people are surprised by that. I'm not surprised by that. So a little bit about, they're called this law, the red flag law here in Minnesota is the extreme risk protection order. It went into effect January 1st, 2024. I'm just reading from the law. Minnesota law allows certain people to request an order from the court to prohibit someone from purchasing or possessing a firearm. This type of order is called an extreme risk protection order, although the term is not used in Minnesota law. Laws that authorize these types of orders are often called red flag laws. The ERPO may be issued to a person who poses a significant danger of bodily harm to others and or is a significant risk of suicide if they possess a firearm. There are two types of ERPOs, emergency ERPOs and long-term ERPOs. If a judicial officer grants an emergency ERPO, it goes into effect right away and lasts for 14 days. A long-term ERPO can only be granted after a hearing. And a long-term one can last 6 months and a year. So basically, this is who can file these petitions for these red flag laws. A spouse or former spouse, person involved in a significant romantic or sexual relationship, parents or children, or persons living together. Neighbors, coworkers, classmates, and acquaintances are not authorized to ask. And you can go to, there's websites where you can file forms to request one of these. And I think that's really important because I think one of the issues here is even though these exist in 21 states, I don't think people realize because these laws are relatively new, like this one in Minnesota just went into effect last year, I don't think people realize that these exist and that it's not that complicated. There's literally a website that you can go to if you have a family member or you're dating someone or whatever that you believe has firearms and is a risk to other people or a risk to themselves. And you can go and you just fill out the form. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of awareness about that. Whether the shooter's mom knew that this red flag law existed, we don't know. And we're just gonna have to wait and see. And apparently she is now having some kind of conversations with police. So perhaps we'll learn more about that. Also, the shooter's father, we know, lives in Minnesota. It seems like the shooter's mom lives in Florida, from what I can tell. The shooter's father is in this area. It's also unclear exactly what he has said. There's some reporting out of search warrants that have been released about him talking about a breakup that his son had recently been involved in. But in terms of specifics of what they know about, were there any warning red flags? We don't know recently, but it is interesting, this reporting again back to 2018, that there was a call, a welfare check at the home of his mother involving a juvenile. So it seems like there's always some kind of warning flags, right? How did he buy so many guns? How was he writing this journal and so miserable and no one knew about it? So we'll just have to wait and see. But I wanted to keep you guys posted with the latest I'm learning, the latest out of the journal. And I'll let you know more as I get it. Like, again, my friend's been translating. I keep bugging her to keep translating more and more and more. So let me see. Let me see. Okay, yeah, nothing new yet, but I'll keep you guys posted. And just think of everybody here in Minnesota, because it's just an awful situation. All right, see you guys.